Hey, guys, Brian Hildebrand, I think you guys know me. Sally Anna and I, before I went to Hartford to go cover the pro show, we're talking about Dave, and we're asking ourselves, how well do we actually know Dave Palumbo? And that's a pretty good question. So when I was in Toronto, I thought, let me ask some people that work for Dave, know Dave, or are familiar with Dave, ask him some intimate, personal questions, and have Dave answer those for us. Jay Leno's got his jaywalking. We have this new segment that we hope is popular. We hope you guys like it. Give us some feedback and let us know what you think about Ask Dave.
Come on now and meet everybody and hear us singing.
Hey Dave, I'm here at the Toronto Pro with Jeff Benz from MD, and he would kind of like to know, why'd you get fired from MD?
Why was I fired from muscular development? Very good question. I think it was because I was a lazy sack of shit. No, really. Why was I fired? I don't know. Many a sleepless night I've thought this over, and I've gone through many different things. From Sean Ray to Steve Bleckman to Bleckman's family to my Species Nutrition Company, and I came up with the final answer: the ketogenic diet.
Hey Dave, this is Isaac. I want to know if you ever have trouble finding hats for that big head of yours.
Isaac Hines would like to know where I get a hat to fit this head, because he wears a lot of hats and I guess this is on his mind. The truth is, Isaac, I have never found a hat that can fit my head. Except one time. I was in a Texas rodeo store and I found a cowboy hat. It was not a 10-gallon, it was not a 20-gallon, I think it was a 100-gallon cowboy hat. Fit my head perfectly. And if you go back and look at some of the videos on RX Muscle, you might actually see me wearing that hat.
Dave, it's Steve-O, and I need some help, man. I need a good rehab place to go to, man. I assume you could help me out, please. I really do need it. Thanks.
Steve-O would like to know the best rehab place that I'm aware of. Now, I have never gone to rehab, so I wouldn't really know of the best celebrity place. I'm sure you've been to the mall, Steve-O. They obviously haven't worked. So I think you should make an appointment for the Dave Palumbo detoxification, regeneration, and spiritually enhanced experience with me. One of these weekends, you could sign up, and I guarantee you that will be the best rehab you ever go to.
Hey Dave, this is Tad. You know me, Tad the Diet Coach. Actually, I have, my question for you is, what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you at a contest in your entire life?
Tad the Diet Coach would like to know my most embarrassing contest story. I was trying to think. I thought maybe I might have shit my pants at one show, but I don't think that ever happened. That would be a good story if it did. My most embarrassing was probably when I did a guest posing, and I believe it was in Florence, South Carolina. I prepared this split. I was going to do a split on stage because I was so proud at 280 pounds I could do a split. I might have been even 290. And as I started doing it, I practiced the split 100 times. I had it perfect. I was on stage. I went out there to slide into the split. I was going to do a double bicep pose, and the floor was slippery. There was oil on there, and boom, my legs went out, and I heard rip, and I tore my groin muscle, which was one of the most painful injuries I've ever had in my career. Very embarrassing because I had to finish the routine in agony. So that's it.
Dave, I got a question for you. Out of these three people, who would you fuck, marry, and kill? Oprah, Paula Deen, or Roseanne? And give your reason why for each.
FMK, fuck, marry, kill. One of my favorite contests. Too bad I never really get to live these out. This is a tough one. Okay, this is a very tough one. I'll tell you why, because I really can't stand any of these three women. But the person I can't stand the most is Roseanne and her annoying voice. So I'd kill her. As far as getting married, I'd have to say Oprah, because Oprah's got billions, and billions is billions, I'd rather marry the billions. And Paula Deen, who I really can't stand either, I guess I would just turn her around and probably fuck her real quickly.
Dave, it's the technician, and my question for you is, if you could sit down or spend a day in the life, like we spend a day in your life, with any tyrant of the last 200 years, who would you like to spend the day in the life with to get inside his brain?
There's so many tyrants throughout history. Chris Aceto, you have to ask me this question. Who would I want to spend the day in the life of and really get into his brain and find out what's going on? I guess it would have to be Adolf Hitler. You know, being of Jewish descent myself, a little bit, half at least, I would want to know what was going through his mind. And probably I'd want to hear some of his Jewish jokes. He probably has a lot of good ones that I could probably pass off to Aaron Chewbacca Singerman. But yeah, I guess Hitler. I'd have to know, you know, that was kind of like nuts. I mean, to kill like 15 million Jews, it's pretty psychotic. It's a close two between Manson and Hitler, and I think Hitler's way crazier, so I'll pick him.
Dave, as someone who's known you for a long time, I want to know if you believe that huge285 at AOL.com is fraudulent advertising now, and if so, do you have any plans to reduce that, perhaps to huge225 at AOL.com in the future? Signing off.
Joel, you should know me better than this. Huge285 at AOL.com, my email. Not false advertising, because you see, you assumed incorrectly. You assumed 285 was my body weight. It is actually my IQ. And my IQ has, if anything, gone up, not down, so I don't say that's false advertising. It's completely accurate.
Dave, if you had to be stuck on a deserted island with somebody, who would it be, and what would be the 3 things you would bring with you?
The last place in the world I'd want to go to, if that's my last, I guess, opportunity to go visit someplace, I guess it would have to be the Garden of Eden, which I'm not sure where that is, but I would have to say it has to be pretty close to Hawaii. Because when I was in Hawaii, that's about as Eden-like as it could get. If I had to spend my last days anyplace, that's where it would be, Hawaii. One of the remote islands, not one of the populous islands. The most remote spot possible. I want dolphins and whales around me and beachfront. That's it.
Hey Dave, this is Sharon Mold from MuscleGirlsLive.com. If you were a motorcycle, what motorcycle would you be, and would you let me ride you?
If I was a motorcycle, what kind would I be? I guess the obvious choice would be a Fat Boy. Harley Fat Boy, that's I guess politically correct. A Bourgette's Fat Daddy is pretty cool too. Something beefy. I need something beefy. And would I let you ride me? Oh boy, that would be a tough one. I guess I'd have to say yes, because the question was so good, you could ride me.
Hey Dave, I've got another question for you. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Dan Ray, come on. What kind of a tree would I be? I know what you're thinking. The obvious answer is an oak, right? Because bodybuilder, oak. I'm going to say Japanese maple, because I like sushi. And I want to be around that countryside so I can get some of the good Japanese food, seaweed, all that kind of good stuff. Japanese maple.
Dave, Dan Ray was too embarrassed to ask if you shop for condoms at the junior section or do you go for the magnums?
What kind of condoms do I wear? What kind of question is that? Isn't it obvious? It's not magnums, as you might think. And for all you out there who think it's smaller, it's not. Magnums just aren't big enough for me. I gotta go for big gun condoms.
Come on now and meet everybody and hear us sing.